welcome to another episode of Earning the Hate. Hey, gun people. Man. Earning the hate big time. Look, I'm telling you, man, I know troopers and people that run around and write tickets on the highway think they're doing this great public service and they're really proud of their job and they think they're the best. But my experience is those guys are the worst, dirtiest, low-down people ever. And I got a buddy that works up in Illinois, and he's a good dude. And, I mean, I just don't get it. And I know people are going to say this is an isolated incident. This is only one guy. I don't believe that. I've seen too many highway patrol in California for rape, for robbery, for beating people that didn't need to be beat for no reason. They're just ego. They run around the highways and they get this power, huge head because I get to stop you and everybody has to drive. Therefore, I have power over everybody and I can stop you. I can take money out of your pocket. I can put you in jail. I can detain you. I can delay you. There's a mentality that somebody that wants to go to work and do nothing, because that's what Highway Patrol does. They actually go to work to make people's lives miserable. They go and pull people over. They are not out there keeping you safe. I've known plenty, and it's not anything to do with they care about you. No highway patrolman cares about you. They care about their pension, their job, their advancement, their own family. They do not care about you. This lie about I'm writing you a ticket to save you. I never wrote a ticket to save anybody. I wrote a ticket to penalize somebody who was being a jerk. That's why I wrote a ticket. But, I mean, and I didn't write a lot of tickets, but every once in a while you could talk your way into it by being a complete jerk about the whole situation. But anyway, these cops, highway patrolmen, are the freaking worst. This guy was the #1 Texas highway. And I always hear about, oh man, those DPS troopers, man, they got those Smokey Bear hats. They must be good. Oh, the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers are a bunch of freaking DPS state troopers. And people run around in Texas thinking they're this isolated cream of the crop greatest person in the world. There's plenty of videos out there. There's one black Texas trooper that pulled a gun on somebody because they flipped him off and like pulled him over and was freaking losing his mind wanting to shoot this guy because he flipped him off. But Rick, he was a Texas Ranger. Those guys are like the FBI. Exactly. They're all freaking people. Stop putting these idiots because they wear a uniform and they work for the government and they run around and exert power over people that can't fight back. You can't resist. You can't argue. You can't do anything to these people. It's just, this guy's so disgusting. He was seizing marijuana from cancer patients and then got caught on camera smoking and using it, destroying evidence. He was the #1 guy in the Texas Department of Public Safety trooper. Oh, man, those guys are great. He's the #1 guy. Had the most interdiction pullovers. He had the most arrests. He was the star trooper. He couldn't be doing anything wrong. He went to court and judges just slobbered over how great he was. And he was sitting there stealing dope. In this video right here, it's on David Sloane, and he's a criminal defense attorney. Good for freaking him, man. This guy he did a lot of work trying to catch this dude and expose it. Because the DA found all this, and they didn't let it out. They hid it. They had to give one Brady notification, and a Brady list is basically saying, hey, this cop has some integrity issues, and we caught him doing something wrong. And when I turned in the DA, that dirty DA who was trying to hide evidence, I turned him in. He put me on a Brady list. In order to discredit my accusation against him, he put me on a Brady list. Even though, he used me to testify against a murder of a CHP 2 days before, he put me on a Brady list as soon as I turned him in for trying to hide that evidence on a death penalty case. So, there's crooked DAs also. And that's my big thing about, look, you give people power, especially in government, either politicians, cops, DAs, lawyers, judges. They all have power and they all get special protections. And those are the most people that you have to keep an eye on. And you cannot believe or put them on a pedestal. This guy just does a great job on explaining this trooper.
And I think it needs to be told.
Former Wichita County DPS trooper pleads guilty to one charge and is placed on 2 years probation in a drug evidence tampering case.
2 years probation. He was stealing evidence. He was keeping evidence for himself. He was literally doing highway robbery by pulling people over for false accusations, taking their drugs that they paid for, that they earned, and they were more honest than this guy, yet he was stealing from people under the color of authority with a badge. And the DA and prosecutor and judge gave him 2 years suspended probation. He didn't even have to do the probation. And then they wonder why people don't trust the government. You wonder why people don't trust cops because of the blue line. Because the blue line extends to government. It's period. Government protects government. Out freaking outrageous.
47-year-old Chad Harden of Iowa Park accepted a plea deal to tampering with or fabricating evidence with intent to impair an investigation.
So they gave him some sweetheart deal because he stole marijuana and smoked it himself in the patrol car on duty with a badge and a gun, and he gets a sweetheart deal. Are you freaking kidding me? This is the shit that the cops will be coming here to my channel saying, Rick, you just hate cops and you're putting this out and you're going to make people hate cops more and we should hide this. This is the mentality of government. Let's give this guy a sweet. This guy should be hung from the highest flagpole by the judicial system saying, you know what? We're going to make a freaking example out of you, dude. If you fuck around with a badge and a gun and we catch your ass, we're going to hang your ass high. And you know what? You know what this does? Hey, you cops, it's cool. Go ahead. Steal some money, rape a few women, grab a fill on a search, grab a few titties, no problem. Because if you get caught and if we have to do something, we're going to give you a sweetheart deal. This is why our country and our judicial system is failing. This is why I have no faith in cops anywhere anymore, because it's freaking pathetic on what they're doing. I really encourage you to go watch this video. It's 16 minutes. The attorney does a great job.
Chad Harden was a trooper stationed in Wichita County, which is Wichita Falls. Falls in Texas is a major main highway. California was stopping traffic left and right. He's lauded himself as being the...
Wow. Look at that hat. Look at that. Look at that badge. Look at those patches. Oh, look at that assault rifle. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a patrol rifle. Oh, it's a shotgun. Oh, it's guns, but he's a good guy because he has a badge. And we're not going to put up with anything these badge carriers do. We're going to hold them accountable. We're going to be transparent. The DPS fought this lawyer left and right trying to hide shit. He had to do FOIA requests for every video for him to find out this information because the government was hiding and concealing it. Meanwhile, they're running around calling for transparency. Disgusting.
The #1 interdiction trooper in the state of Texas.
#1 interdiction trooper. Wow. That guy's good. Rick, all cops are good. They're heroes. Why are you picking on just the few? This isolated incident.
Texas, and I believe that's accurate. His similarly, and let me tell you why. When people get arrested for having small amounts of marijuana or THC or something like that, generally speaking, if the officer arrested him fair and square, he didn't lie about the reason for stopping him, or he didn't lie about the reason.
See, that's the problem, is cops have so much authority. And I used to say this as a cop, and cops would look at me like I was crazy. I was like, man, we cops have too much authority. I mean, I could ruin somebody's life so freaking easy. I could hide evidence. I could plant evidence. I could lie on the stand. I had so much power as a cop. and it's really just freaking scary. And again, when I say cops have too much power, all the cops be, dude, man, you're crazy. We need to be able to search. They make money real. We got to go through the judge. We got to go through the DA. It's too hard. They make it too hard for us to do our job. Most cops are freaking lazy. I'm telling you, man, this attitude, when you're in a profession, everybody wants to tell everybody how great it is because you want to build your own ego. But there is no profession out there that are filled with 100% or 90% or even 80% of great, wonderful people that you could trust with anything. I don't care if they're doctors, if they're lawyers, judges, DAs, defense attorneys, it just doesn't matter, people. People with power will eventually abuse it if there isn't checks and balances to that power.
His justification to search them, the fact that they were due, there's no hard feelings.
Okay, we understand. Yes, sir.
There's a close job. People that he fabricated the reasons for stopping.
Look at this guy. He is
Fabricated
pathetic.
the reasons, said he smelled something that he didn't smell. Come walk out of the courthouse. They wouldn't say that. Trooper lied. The people, you know, and really wreaked medicate. And it's called a break if there's a county involving this trooper. And they just basically said that if you were to ask Texas Ranger Weaver,
Texas Ranger, another DPS officer who becomes a Texas Ranger,
about the honesty of this trooper, he would say that he doesn't believe he's honest.
So this is what they did on the Brady list. They said this Texas Ranger made a statement that this guy isn't trustworthy. And that's what they released, even though they knew this guy was stealing evidence, was smoking dope, was facing felony charges, and he gets 2 years deferred probation while he did this under the color of authority with a gun while armed in a government vehicle collecting government money. He did all this. This is just freaking typical of why people don't trust cops or the system. Out freaking rageous, earning the hate, this trooper, man. I'm telling you.
And that was all this stuff involving this trooper questioning this and tampering how he'd been missing.
Of traffic stops and drug cases in past years, most along US 287, hundreds if not thousands of pounds of marijuana.
Wow, look at this guy. Look at that Texas Department of Public. Those guys are good. Look at the lights and his clean car, and he parks it at his house because he's important. Wow, look at that uniform. Fit tightly, great. Shows the professionalism of the badge and the hat, and you're freaking disgusting, dude. I mean, anybody that would go to work and use their power to take advantage of people, the thousands of lives that he has ruined, and I'm not talking about ruined for life, but has increased their insurance, has caused them to find fines, take off jobs, lost their jobs, maybe broke up marriages because this was the tipping point, you know, because this guy's going through a rough time and now he's got to pay these fines and he's putting stress on it. I mean, I'm just telling you, man, ticket people that go out there and are proud to write people tickets are really the lowest scum on earth. And I just can't stand it. And I know somebody's going to go, oh, but you said you wrote tickets. I did, and it was very extreme. And I tell my stories to where I wrote so few tickets the judge called me because I wrote a guy a ticket, and I didn't even show up to court because I didn't even care. And he was going, I don't know, freaking 100 driving on Ohio. He was just doing crazy shit, and he was a Russian dude, and he didn't have a license. He was arguing with me. I'm like, dude, you're getting a ticket. I said, I usually don't write tickets, but you got to get a ticket. Like I said, you had to do something pretty egregious to get a ticket from me. I did not go out there and work for the insurance company and just give freaking tickets to ruin people's life, to put hardship, take money out of their kids' schooling or whatever, and take money from people just because I could, because I had power. And that's why I just think the lowest just despicable form of law enforcement are the guys that go out and pull people over and write tickets and then are proud about it and like to tell you, we're keeping you safe. Have a nice day. Thank you, sir. They call you sir while they're screwing you. This guy's pathetic. Earning the hate, big time. But you know what? Government tried to hide it. They tried to cover it up. If not for this lawyer. Good for you, dude. Go like this guy's video and This guy's got my support. Anybody who knows this guy wants to tell him if he needs any help with a case or reviewing a search warrant or reviewing something that he thinks is fishy and can't find something, I'll be happy to help him out free of charge and review anything that he wants my expertise or prior training or use on. All right, we'll end that there.